Today we are converting improper fractions to mixed numbers. So find your improper fractions to mixed number, and we are just going to do a basic fold, left to right, just like that. Alright, so an improper fraction is a fraction in which the numerator is greater than the denominator. An example would be something like 17 over 5. The numerator is bigger than the denominator. That means I have 17 parts when each group only has 5. Now, a mixed number is a number that is made up of a whole number and a fraction. Example could be something like 5 and 1/6. Alright, now remember that you can pause as you go. If you think that we're going too fast, just pause it and get caught up. That's not a problem. You can rewind it anytime that you want. But we're going to move on to the center. So when you are going from an improper fraction to a mixed number, all you do is to divide. It is very important to know where to place the numerator and the denominator when we are dividing. That's why we put the in and the out every time, because that line means to divide by. Alright, now the tip, just remember, goes inside. You can think of, if you hop off and you run inside the house and you close the door, then you shut that 4 out. So 9 in, 4 out is the same as 9 in, 4 out, which is the same as in and out, in and out. Now, I want you to try these. What would these look like? So I want you to pause the video, try these 3, and then once you're done, just come back and see if you're correct. Go ahead and pause it now. Alright guys, so if we put our in and our out, that means the 10 goes inside, the 3 goes outside. For 8 halves, that means the 8 goes in, the 2 goes out. 8 on the inside, 2 on the outside. And then for 12 fifths, the 12 goes in, the 5 goes out, putting 12 and 5. Now, the top number is the numerator. It is our dividend. And the bottom number is our divisor. And remember how that looks on a normal fraction division line. You're going to have the dividend on the inside, divisor on the outside. Alright, so that's how you go from a fraction into the dividing way that we've been doing for a few years now. So let's try one. Your steps are right here. So the first thing you need to do is you need to draw your division house. We're going to convert 67 ninths. So that's going to be in and out. Always write your in and out. That way you know which one is which. So 67 on the inside, 9 on the outside. So 9 goes into 67 7 times. 7 times 9 is 63. You subtract and you get 4 left over. Now, when you are taking that number and you want to make it into your mixed number, know that this top number, that is our whole number. And sometimes you'll just label it with a W. The remainder is our numerator. And sometimes you'll just label it with an N. And then our divisor, that is our denominator. in which you just label it with a D. So if we use that mentality, then that means that our answer is 7 and 4/9. Well, 4 was my remainder. The 9 is our whole group. And 7 is our whole groups of 9. So our groups have 9 in them, which means I've got 7 whole groups of 9 and 4 left over out of the next group of 9. So feel free to keep practicing that. If you need to look back over, go ahead. Now let's see what that would look like as a model. So here is our model. Each one of these fractions has 1/3 shown. So this is 1/3, this is 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. So if I were to add each of those together, I would end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 thirds. But I can't really have that, can I? I want it to look like a mixed number. So I'm going to take all of those 1/3 and I'm going to fill them into some new ones so we can kind of consolidate. So there's 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8 takes over what we see here of 8/3. So when we look at this, we have 2 wholes and 2 out of the 3 left over. So visually, I took this, narrowed it down, and now have 2 and 2/3. All right, so basically what we did, we started off with 8 parts of 1/3, 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. These 3 made 3/3, which is 1. These 3 made these 3/3, which is 1. And then our 2 left over, 2/3, giving us 2/3, which also gives us 2 and 2/3. All right, so that's a couple of different ways you can see that visually. Hope that helps. Don't forget you can come back anytime you want.